Okay, so the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to build this cube, or excuse me, this cup. Okay, so we start by going to create polygons cylinder. Okay, you'll notice that we have a lot of subdivisions for that, so we're going to go to the input, cylinder 1, subdivision axis, and change that to 8. Alright, the next thing you want to do is you want to eliminate these triangles, because triangles are bad. Remember that, right? So every other edge we select, okay, on both sides, okay, yeah, okay, and what we're going to do there is then delete those edges, and voila, we have the makings of a cup. So this is our base shape. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into vertex or edges. We can stay in edge either or, but we'll go to vertex mode for now. And we'll select the bottom just a little bit, right? And cups like to kind of angle out, right? So actually before we do that, let's go ahead and insert an edge loop here so that we don't lose. We add some little kind of resolution, and we make it a little bit better. So we'll go to insert edge loop, go into this guy and make sure this is set to 1 and not 2. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and select it. And what this does is it snaps it directly into the middle. So if I do that here, it will snap it to the middle. Do that there, it will snap to the middle. Okay, but I don't want to create that much resolution. I just need that a little bit. Okay, so we select that guy. We'll go ahead and select these edges right here. We're in edge mode. And, well, you know what? Let's go to vertex mode. Sorry. Let's go into that. Scale this down just a little bit. And we have a more cup-like shape, right? So now what we need to do is to go ahead and create the inside of the cup. Okay? And we do that by going to faces, boop, 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 right? And we are first going to extrude. Let me go ahead and close this guy so it doesn't confuse you. Okay? Now, you can mess with this, but I prefer for right now, you just go ahead and base off of this. We'll take it and we'll scale these down here like so. So we have a little bit of thickness to our cup, right? Press G again to, and then we'll use the translation tool on the Z to bring it down, down, and then we'll click the cube in the center, bring it in like so. Okay, so that right there is our cup. The next thing what we're going to do is we're going to create a nice little handle for the cup. Okay. Before we do that, let's go ahead and there's this thing called support edges, and it's a little bit of complication thing, and I don't want to get too far into it, but there's this thing called smooth edges, right? And that's on 1, 2, you'll see a nice little subdivision, and then 3. Okay, if you press 3, you'll see how it looks as a soft edge, right? And it looks a lot smoother, right? But what support edges does is it creates a little hard edge so that it maintains the edges of your shape. Say if I want to keep this nice sharp rim, then what I would do is I would create an edge loop, right? And I would turn this off and put it relative distance from edge, because that will allow me to manipulate where I want this edge to be. I'll just go ahead and put it there. And then I'll put one down here. And what that will do, and then I'll put one over here. And I'll put one down here. Okay. Support edges always comes in last, because that way you have your shape the way it needs to be. Press 3, and you see how your cup maintains that nice solid edge around? See that? Okay. The next step, what we're going to do is create a nice little handle, and for that what we're going to use is the rhombus. Yay! Okay. Now, this guy right here, again, a lot. You don't need that much. Maybe 8 will be just fine. Take it over here. Right? Now, this donut-looking thing, right? We can manipulate the scale of this guy by pressing the middle mouse button on the section radius, and we can go ahead and do that way. If we want to make the cup handle bigger or smaller, we can do it that way, or we can of course go through scale, but generally using the radius is a lot more safer because it allows you to manipulate things a little bit easier. So the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and select the faces of half of this guy, right? Half. Okay. If you're not sure, you could always go into either like the top view or side view. Okay. Pressing spacebar will get you there. I'm pressing that. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and go to object mode. Translate. Rotate this guy to -90. Wow. Okay. Okay. And then you want to scale him down, like so. Okay. And you can just bring it up like that. Like that. Rotate it around. Boop. Okay. And there he is. And if we go ahead and put our soft edge there, you'll notice that it does that. See that? Now if you wanted to go ahead and play with the edges a little bit so that you shape it out a bit more, you could always do that. You just go into vertex mode or edge mode or faces and just play with those again even more. Okay, you could go ahead and rotate this around like that. Bring this down like so. Okay.
Don't worry, man, your brain won't actually feel.
Go ahead and drag this down like that. Pull it up a little bit like that to shape it. Okay. Just a little bit back. That. Cool. We just take it and move it into the cup. Like so. Select away. Voila. A little cup. Now if you want to make this thicker, make it thicker that way. You have to be careful here now because you deleted it and you messed around with this. Sometimes you can actually damage the model that way. But this seems to be working just fine like that. So we can go ahead and scale this down just a little bit more to maybe about 0.4. That's a good thickness right there. Okay, and there it is, our cup. Okay. And that would be your assignment. Pretty easy stuff, not hard. Okay.
Your assignment. Easy.
Okay.